Today I'm going to show you how to play a song I wrote called Grace Alone off a record called The Water and the Blood. So this song basically walks through how the whole Trinity is involved in saving us despite our best efforts to derail that. And so it goes from Father to the Son Jesus to the Holy Spirit. And so there's somewhat of a contrast with the verses have a little bit more casual language as they're talking about what we were doing as we were running away. We were trying to do things on our own. We thought we understood everything. And then the choruses almost have this lift in language to where there's this focus on what God has done, and it gets a little more formal in language. And generally I wouldn't propose mixing styles like that, but I think the purpose of it in this song, it works really well. So starts off with just a G and a C back and forth, and that's gonna be the whole verse. So I was an orphan lost at the fall, running away when I hear you call. Father, you were so real. And then it's gonna go to the chorus, and the chorus is gonna be D, so you could play it there, but I like playing this D over A kind of vibe, and then slide up to an E minor, which I'm playing like that. You could just play it down here, but I like keeping all these chord structures the same, so it's D, E minor, C. So and in love before you lay the world's foundation, you predestined to adopt me as your own. You have raised me up so high above my station. I'm a child of God by grace and grace alone. It goes back to the verse, GC again. And then something I've done with this song is the third verse basically functions like a bridge, and I like doing this, switching the chords up but keeping the melody the same. It makes it really easy for people on their first time singing through to be able to sing right along with the bridge, but by changing the chords it still gives you a little bit of a different vibe and more of a story arc to the song. Instead of going to the G there at the beginning, it's going to go to a G over B, and then a C, and then D, so you can play that however, and then back to the G over B, C. So I was in darkness all of my life, I never knew the day from the night. Spirit, you made me see. I swore I knew the way on my own, head full of rocks, heart made of stone. Spirit, you moved in me. And then it's going to go into the last chorus, which is a totally different chord progression than the other two. So instead of starting on D, it's going to land on the G, and then C, E minor, C. You could play that the same way you're playing the other stuff. And then second half, G, A minor, C. So you're kind of just adding that A minor in the hole there. And then E minor, adding in a D in the hole, C. So we'll take this coming out of the third verse / bridge. Spirit, you moved in me. At your touch, my sleeping spirit was awakened. On a darkened heart, the light of Christ has shone. Called into a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Heaven's citizen by grace and grace alone. And then it's going to go to the outro, which is the same chords as the previous choruses, but with different lyrics, kind of a refrain going with the grace alone. So I'll stand in faith by grace and grace alone. I will run the race by grace and grace alone. So D, E minor, C. I will slay my sin by grace and grace alone. I will reach the end by grace and grace alone. So that's the whole song, Grace Alone. And hope that was helpful in learning how to play it on acoustic guitar.